Fix My Church. Sounds like the makings of a good reality show. So you go to church, but you don't think the church is matching up to your preferences. So what do? You complain about it. And if that is not enough, you call a meeting of the church fix-up or the Fix My Church committee. Before I give my views on the matter, let me share two things which I think are important. One, there are countless Christian denominations over the world. Two, Jamaica is said to have the most churches per square mile. I mean, you go on some streets, you find churches just laid out right beside each other. It's like being in a restaurant with a menu. Pick your choice, as we'd say in Jamaica. Let us reason. After having heard how many churches and how many choices you have, if your church is not meeting up to your expectations, it doesn't sound that hard to find another church. Well, at least not to me. Let's look at it. If you're a midday person, you can find a church that starts, at your time choosing. If you're an early morning person, you can find that. Maybe it is the music of the church that you don't quite like that much, or their style of worship, the way the pastor preaches, or maybe it is that you don't like their style of dress. But if those are the things you don't like, you can find alternatives. For example, if you don't like the way they dress, you might be in for luck, because there are churches who wear nothing. Nude churches. Let's not even talk about those of us who are looking for a church void of hypocrites. Well, let's move on. I'm forced to wonder when I hear church critics talking whether the issue is with the church or with the critic, him or herself. And I'm not judging, just hear me out. I think there are 4 key questions that we need to ask ourselves when we examine our church or our church attendance. The first question, why do I go to church? Then, who do I go for? The third question I think should be, is there something wrong with the church, or am I just being stubborn to the teachings? 4, is church about God, or is it about me and what I like? While you think about those 4 very basic questions, I would say, let us look more closely at some things we should consider when we are evaluating our church. And notice I didn't say criticizing, I said evaluating our church, to suggest a more positive examination of our church. Firstly, church is a place we go to commune with God and our brothers and sisters. As Hebrews admonishes us, we shouldn't forsake assembling together, especially as we get closer to the end of time. Number 2, does the church speak truth? Isaiah 8:20 says this, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to the word, it is because there is no light in them. The Bible tells us what is truth. John 17:17 says God's word is truth. So does your church speak what is contained in God's word? There's a third thing I want to highlight to you. When Jesus walked this earth, he said his mission was to come and save the disenfranchised, the sinners among us. He came to call lost sinners. And when he reached out to persons, he didn't ask them or allow them to change the word to meet their needs. Rather, he asked them to step up to a higher level to match up to the requirements of the word. You don't believe me? Ask the hot-tempered, foul-mouthed Peter. Or ask the woman caught in adultery. How about Zacchaeus, the corrupt tax collector? Maybe you want to talk to Mary Magdalene. Search the scriptures and see how when Jesus met people, he lifted them up, he brought them higher. He never brought the word down, or the requirements of the word down to a lower standard. Are you still saying, fix my church? The next time you decide to call together the Fix My Church committee, why not take a few moments to do a bit of introspection? Ask yourself, is there something that needs to be fixed about the church? Or is a fixing needing to happen with me? I'm Carrie Ann Francis saying, be blessed and inspired.